Welcome to a demonstration of how to create rubrics and use them in the Dropbox in Fanshawe Online. Start by selecting Rubrics in the nav bar. Next, click on Select New Rubric. The next step is to give the rubric a name. I'm just going to type in Weekly Response. As we work on the rubric, I'm going to keep its status as Draft. To find more out about what a status is, click on What is a rubric status? And here it displays all the statuses. Next, choose a type of rubric. There is analytic and holistic. Most rubrics are analytic. Click on What are rubric types to see the differences. And here are the descriptions. Most often, professors create analytic rubrics. Next, you can specify the levels of evaluation. Then you can set the number of criteria you are going to use for evaluation. For scoring method, I'm going to choose custom points. Do this if you want to have different weighting for your different criteria. For more information on scoring methods, click on What are scoring methods? Next, save the rubric at the bottom right-hand corner, and then go to the top and click on the Levels and Criteria tab. Now we're going to create the different levels and criteria, so we'll click on the Levels and Criteria tab. Now we can edit all of the criteria, descriptions of levels, and the points. The first thing I'm going to do is click on the pull-down menu for criteria. Then I'm going to select Edit Criteria Group. We are now going to name the levels and the criterion. My top level will be Excellent, Good, Average, Poor. After adding all the levels, we're going to add the criterion names. My first criterion is Content. Once I've added my criterion titles, I'm going to save. And we'll continue adding all the different descriptions for all of our different levels of the criterion. We'll start by clicking on the pull down for the level Excellent. Then select Edit Level. Now we're going to enter a description of what excellent content involves. As it says here, all statements should be easy to read. You should be using vocabulary that's easily understood by the learners. And all the statements should be measurable for you as the professor. I'm going to type in a short description. You can also add feedback, which will be added to the gradebook when you use the rubric. Because I chose custom points for this rubric, I can add different scoring methods. In this case, content is worth twice as much as spelling. In this rubric, I can have different points for each of the criteria in the different levels, because when I set it up, I chose custom points. I'll continue adding descriptions. This one is for what is excellent spelling, and a description of excellent grammar. Save the rubric and then continue filling out the descriptions for all of your levels. Next, I'm going to add the descriptions for the good level for each criterion. From the pull-down menu, select Edit Level. Again, we're going to set points for each criterion. This is the good level. Again, add descriptions, this time for the good level for each criterion. And I'm just going to again save that. I'm not going to continue in this demonstration, but you would continue to edit each level until your rubric is completely filled out. After completing all of the descriptions for the criteria of each of the levels, we're going to work on the overall score. From the pull down, we'll select Edit Levels. We're going to give an overall level name as well as a start range in points. My rubric is out of 20, so I'm saying 16 and above is excellent. And I'm going to give a description of what an overall excellent response is. I'm going to continue adding level names, points, and descriptions for each overall level. Once you've completed your rubric, be sure to click the Save button. You should then see your completed rubric. To see the student view of the rubric, click Preview. If you're happy with the student view, click Close and move on. Now that the rubric is complete, we can now change its status. At the top, click on Rubric List. I'm going to click on the Actions pull-down for the rubric I just created. In order to use the rubric we created, we are going to have to change its status from draft to published. The rubric is now saved and ready for use in evaluation. I'm now going to show how to use the rubric we just created in a Dropbox. So I'm going to start by going to the Dropbox link, and I'm going to click on Edit for Response Week 1. I'm going to link the Dropbox to a grade item, or I can create a new one. Next, I'm going to click on the Add Rubric button. Then I'll check off the rubric that I want to use. Then I'll click on Add Selected. Be sure that the out of score is the same in your rubric as it is in the Dropbox. Then be sure to save your Dropbox folder. Now that the Dropbox is set up, we're going to evaluate an assignment using the rubric. Now that the Dropbox is set up, we can click on Dropbox again or click on Folder Submissions. From the list of submissions, I'm going to click on Leave Feedback for a Student. A new feature in Fanshawe Online is the ability to preview a submission right inside the Dropbox. Click on the file name to open it in the preview window. You can see the student's paper inside the preview window. Then you can click on the rubric icon to grade using the rubric. The rubric opens up on the window, and then I can just click on the radio buttons to evaluate the student for each criteria. Now I just click on the radio buttons for each level for each of the criteria. If you want to edit the points for one level or give some feedback, just click on the pencil icon. You can then enter your own grade and some custom feedback and save it back into the rubric. You can see your grade has been added and the total is calculated. Click the Save and Record button when you're finished. The grade is then added to the Dropbox as well as the gradebook, as well as any feedback that may have been in the rubric. Click the Save and Next button to go on to the next student. Now I'm just going to go over a few little notes about some quirks in rubrics. Once a rubric is associated with a Dropbox or you've used it to grade, it can't be edited and you'll see the padlock icon beside it. However, you can make a copy of that rubric and then edit the copy. To do this, select the Actions pull-down menu and select Copy. And you can now edit the copy.